Well, I hope you're doing well. Let's see, I think we're already into week 16. Can you imagine that? We're about a quarter of the way through the year. Well, my math isn't all that great. I was never known for my math skills, but I'm just saying that. Anyway, um, we're well into the year. Summer's upon us soon, and these are exciting times. And we're seeing a lot going on in our nation. There's just lots going on in the world. And there's just a lot to be thankful for and also a lot to be prayerful about. So it's good to be alive. I want you to think, we've been speaking recently on the unique difference between man and other creatures that were created. I've been reading a book that has to do with the evolutionary creation of belief, which I think very interesting. The person doesn't believe in Adam and Eve, although he teaches at a Catholic college. I won't give you the name, but it's major. Doesn't believe in Adam and Eve, believes that, mankind evolved from many different processes, and thinks it's quite interesting that we're so unique from the other created order, which, by the way, is exactly what the book of Genesis tells us. We are unique, and that there's no other creature created like us. Humankind is incredibly unique. And what makes us so incredibly unique is, if you think about it, we can think about the past. I don't know that any animal on this earth can do that. I'm sure that I have no reason to believe that they can. Well, I think that animals can learn. I have a dog that I sometimes think she can learn. Other times I wonder. I'm not so sure that she's cognizant of the past or that she spends a great deal of time thinking about it. I think most animals, or if not all, spend their time thinking about the present. And they're designed to achieve a certain goal, to fulfill a certain desire in terms of their natural instincts, and that's what they do. Mankind's not like that. We were created to think, actually to think with God, actually to understand Him. Not the fullness of His omniscience, but to understand Him, to be able to speak with Him, to hear from Him. All these incredible opportunities and privileges that we have as human beings. And tonight we're going to be talking about the fact that this also sets us apart from angels. There's a reason why when Paul speaks in 1 Corinthians 4, I believe it's verse 9, he says we're a spectacle to men and angels. In 1 Peter 1:12, the angels desire to look in on the things of God that we're doing. Why? We're so uniquely different. When the psalmist says, David in Psalm 8, what is man that you're mindful of him? Or the son of man that you even consider him? You made him lower than the angels, meaning we don't have the strength, the power. We're not in the fourth dimension. We have to believe by faith. We can't see these things, but yet we're exalted above them. We have the ability to know God in a way that they can't. That's quite interesting to me. And so from that viewpoint, I want you to think about our enemy. The question is, are angels creative? Do they create? Or do they just fulfill the will of their creator? Do they do what he has created them to do? I would think, and certainly I believe, that there's only one opportunity that angels have had in all of eternity, and that was either to fulfill the will and the ministry that God created them to fulfill, or to rebel. I think our enemy, the devil, can only rebel. That's what he chose. I think all of the demons can only rebel. I'm not sure that they can feel or think or imagine. I think they are invested in these things through us. In other words, they tempt us. They can't tempt us to do anything other than disobey God. That's all they know. They know God, and they know what he would will for us and what he would not want for us. And they can tempt us. They know how to manipulate our lust patterns, if you will. They know how to get us to think contradictory to the will of God. They can get us. I doubt they create anything. I think they use us to create all of these things. We were created to be able to do this. And we are the ones, it says in Romans chapter 1 and verse 20 through 22, that we became empty or vain or vacuous in our reasoning skills. The devil didn't. I know he has a way of thinking, but his thinking is always contradicting the will and purpose of God. In other words, he's bound to what he knows. We were created to create, to imagine, to think not only forwards but backwards, to see, to perceive, and have a sense of the future. That's an incredible privilege. And as we think of that, I want you to realize this one thing, that for each and every person, every one of us, we were created to know God and to use what we know of God to do as only God can do, to impact the lives of other, not only his created universe, but also the lives of others who were created in his image. We were created to imagine new ways to do so in concordance with his word and his person and his nature. We were created to imagine. Can you imagine what it was like for the Apostle Paul to be able to think with Jesus Christ about his view of the Gentiles as compared to what he had been taught all of his life? When he speaks of this in Philippians chapter 3 and verse 6 and on, it's mind-boggling. Why? Because it was a total contradiction to everything that he knew as a Jewish Pharisee. God created him to think in a new way, to see things that he hadn't seen before. God actually spoke to him and educated him. What an incredible thing. And you know what? God created you too. And he fills you with his Spirit. And he gives you his word. And he gives you his body of believers, a kind of like a little incubator of life and value and purpose and imagination of things that can be used to glorify God. All inspired by his word, all motivated by his love, all literally brought to life through his Spirit. I don't know about you, but I think that makes us pretty special. You're special. Yes, you are. You're special. We're all special in the eyes of God. Till next time, friends, God bless you.